On Sentinel.com, this is Ira Winderman with your latest Ask Ira Miami Heat mailbag. Our first question today comes from Juan in New York, who asks, where do you think this Heat team will wind up standing among the rejuvenated Eastern Conference? Juan says almost every East team got better, but the Heat failed to keep even their roster the same. Juan, clearly there will be challenges for Erik Spoelstra this season. I wouldn't undersell the Heat and where they are, considering they retained Hassan Whiteside, which even Pat Riley said was the priority. But certainly when you look at the East, the Cavaliers are still number one as defending champions, and the Boston Celtics did nothing wrong in adding Al Horford. I also think the Toronto Raptors are in that top three group. So beyond that, what are Pat Riley and Mickey Arison and their team facing? Well, I think you'd have to look at the revised mixes right now, with the Pacers, Knicks, and Bulls, plus the Wizards attempting to regain their stride, the Hawks looking to remain with their place in the Eastern Conference playoff race. Then you have the Heat trying to crack it, and it all comes down to one thing, which we'll address in our next question. Chris Bosh. You put him in place, and Erik Spoelstra has a competitive lineup with Whiteside and Bosh and Justice Winslow and Goran Dragic. Without that, I think Erik Spoelstra will be looking a bit to development and rebuilding mode. Our second question, as mentioned, involves Chris Bosh. Francis from the Philippines asks, in this Bosh saga, who has the final decision on whether he'll play or not? What if the doctors say it's 50-50? Can the Heat opt to hold him out, and how would that help the salary cap? Francis, it's relatively simple. As much as Mickey Arison and the Heat are involved, this comes down to Chris Bosh. He is the one who will decide how it plays out. If he doesn't want to retire, the Heat can't make him retire. And if he doesn't want to retire, not that we're saying that's the ultimate pending outcome right now, then there will be no salary cap relief. This is all on Chris Bosh's schedule. When he says he has a decision, only then can the Heat move forward. Until then, still a holding pattern. And our last question today comes from Robert in Alexandria, Virginia. He says, seeing how the Heat are basically filled to capacity, who gets cut or who gets traded? I think a lot of the capacity here has to do, as I previously mentioned, with players likely headed to the Heat's D-League team. Okara White, Stefan Jankovic, and maybe even Rodney McGruder, even with their six-figure guarantees. And it could get even tougher if Pat Riley decides to bring back Beno Udrih and move him into the mix. That can create a bit of consternation, let's say, for Briante Weber. But right now, Pat Riley's just trying to get his offseason roster in hand. Remember, you can carry up to 20 players in the offseason before Pat Riley and his front office have to cut to a maximum of 15 for the regular season. So there's still plenty of time, including training camp, to get this all sorted out for the Miami Heat. For SunSentinel.com, I'm Ira Winderman, and we'll be back tomorrow with 3 more questions.